a relation is said to be in the first normal form if it doesn't contain multi-valued attribute, then composite attribute, and nested relation. So this is the first normal form definition. As an example, we have seen department table, in which initially we had included department number, department name, and then also department location. So, but department locations had multi-valued attribute. Then as a solution, we have decomposed the table into two parts. In one table, we have taken all department related attributes, but we have separated department locations into different table along with department number. So this was the example for the first normal form. Second normal form, as per the definition, we have seen the example here. Sorry. Yeah, as an example, we had seen employee project as the table. The definition of second normal form that every non-prime attribute should be fully functionally dependent on the primary key. So here we have seen the example of employee project. In this, we have seen that there are many attributes: SSN, project number, hours, E name, P location, etc. And we have seen that in this particular table, only the first three attributes, they are in one group, because only hours can be determined, functionally determined by SSN number and project number together. Rest all can be determined by the individual part of that particular composite primary key. That is, E name can be determined by SSN, and project name and project location can be determined only by project number. So with this understanding, we have divided that particular composite table into three parts. So this is the process called as normalization. So in normalization, we have separated the attribute which is fully functionally dependent on these two combination. Then others which are not fully functional dependent, so they are dependent only on one attribute, so they have been separated. I hope I am audible. Yeah, no one is unmuted, so I'm not able to understand. Anyways, I'll just unmute someone. Sonam, can you hear? Sonam? Sonam Mudekar, I have unmuted. Anyways, so I'll unmute. Many people are not online today. Okay. So, one second, the others just wait 2 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, Manisha, you are there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So now, what I was telling you about this second normalization, in which every non-prime attribute should be fully functional dependent on the
Dependent
primary key.
primary.
So fully functional dependent means not on the part of the primary key. It should be together dependent on both, and on the, that means on the entire
Com
primary key.
com
And this normally you can remember that it will be in the case of composite primary key only. The second normalization is related to the composite primary key only. So in that case, you can just separate the other attributes which are not dependent on the combination of those two attributes of composite primary key. They are dependent on individual. So such attributes can be easily separated. So this is the example. Now the third normal form, yesterday we were just discussing about transitive functional dependency, what it is. So transitive functional dependency is something when there is a functional dependency exists between X and Z, but actually in between X and Z there is one more relationship called
Y.
as X functionally determines Y, and then Y functionally
Y.
determines Z. That means Z is not directly dependent on X, but indirectly it is dependent on X. How? Because Z is dependent on Y and then Y is dependent on X. That is why X is dependent
X
on
is
Z.
direct.
So functional dependency does exist, but it is not direct, it is indirect. So such dependency is
Yes.
called as transitive functional dependency. As an example, we have seen here SSN number. Suppose there is an employee table in which we have all employee related details. Then along with SSN number, we also have DMGR SSN, that is Department Manager's SSN. Actually, employee works for a department and that department is managed by a employee, a particular employee. That is why we also can see that this employee is managed by that. For example, I can take the example here. I'll just escape from this. Yeah. So here I'll just take an example. Suppose there is a table. This is employee, and then this is department number, and this is manager. Now this is employee SSN. So instead of employee, let us write it as SSN. So these are the three attributes. If you have a value, SSN1 is working in department number D1, whose manager is suppose 4, and then there is SSN number 4, and then I can also have your name attribute in between. Okay, now this employee name is suppose Asha, and this employee name is Rita, and then there is someone, of course this one works in department number 2, wherein the manager is 3. So can you tell me now Asha is the employee whose SSN number is 1. Who is Asha's manager? Who is Asha's manager? Now you can see here, Asha is an employee which is working for department number 1, which is managed by the employee with SSN
4.
4. So who is the employee with
Rita.
SSN number 4? Rita. So who is the manager of Asha? Rita.
Rita.
So Rita is a manager of Asha. So actually, Rita
Yes,
is
ma'am.
not a manager of Asha. It is because Asha works in department number 1 and Rita is the manager for department number 1. That is why Rita is a manager for Asha. So this is how you can
Sure.
see this example. There exists a transitive dependency that these attributes are okay. But when it comes to MGR SSN, this attribute is not directly dependent on SSN. Like for example, if when I know SSN number, I'll not be able to tell what is the MGR SSN. Uh, so there is no direct functional dependency. That is, by knowing SSN number, I'll be able to tell uh, the department number in which that particular employee works, and by knowing that department number I can find out who is the manager for that particular department. So this is how there exists a what you can say indirect or uh, transitive functional dependency. So I can just show you with, so it is like this. From SSN we can see, yeah, department number, but then from department we can determine manager. So that is why there is a indirect dependency that MGR SSN is dependent on SSN, but actually it depends on department number, and department number depends on that particular employee, or that for which department he works. So this is how in this table, now you can see that only this attribute is not directly dependent on SSN number. So there is a need that we should separate this. But should we separate it alone? No. As per the rules of normalization, we can't cut it. I was giving you example of pizza or cake. It can't be cut like that. So there has to be proper logical decomposition wherein the meaning of this relationship should not be lost. What is the relationship between SSN and MGR SSN? Ha, ಒಂದೇ ನಿಮಿಷ, ಒಂದೇ. Just a minute. Yeah, so where was I? I was just telling you that there exists a transitive dependency between SSN and MGR SSN. Hence, there is a need to separate MGR SSN. But separation of the attribute is not direct. We can't cut the attribute like that. So for that, we should maintain the relationship between SSN and MGR. What is the relationship? That SSN works for department and department determines MGR SSN. So what we have to do? And then you may think of cutting like this, that let us cut department number and MGR SSN. That is, the manager depends on that particular department number, isn't it? So let us separate. You may think like that, but even that separation is not possible because, yeah, even that separation. Am I audible clearly? One sec. Yeah, am I audible clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So what I was telling you, that because I was telling you here that because MGR SSN has transitive dependency, so you may think of cutting this MGR SSN, but it's not possible because that MGR SSN is, that manager is belongs to department, so that logical relationship between department number and manager will get lost. So instead of cutting it alone, we may think of cutting these two together. That means let's bring these two in one group and remaining attributes in one group, but still we will be losing the information. What information will be losing if we remove department number and manager SSN from this table? We may lose the information that this particular employee Asha works for which department. So we may lose that information. So we require even that. So what we can do then? We have to then together group like this. Let me clear the previous annotations. Yeah, then we will have to frame a group like this. One group here where we have preserved the dependency, that is the employee works for which department, and then we should make another table in which we have to again take department number and MGR SSN, wherein for a particular department who is manager we will be writing in another table, and then whenever we want to know who is the manager for that particular employee, we'll be joining the table together. So this is how
Yes,
decomposition should be done to remove the transitive dependency. Once we remove MGRSSN from here, then automatically we see that there is no transitive dependency. Other all attributes are directly dependent, or they have direct functional dependency on SSN number. Clear? So this is how we have to show that other all are non-transitive and only here. Can you see here in example? We have to write like this, that SSN determines the department manager SSN is a transitive dependency, since SSN determines department number and department number determines DMGR SSN. So because of this, and the other one is non-transitive, and hence what we have to do, we have to remove the department the MGR SSN separately. So this particular separation is not shown in the next slide. They are shown in the previous slide here only. So I'll clear the annotation. I'll just zoom it a bit so that you can see the down part. Here we have taken the table for the third normal form. If they ask you for 5 marks, explain it with an example. Then you will be taking the example of the table. This is a bad table. Let's call it, or the name of that table is employee department. So we have combined the attributes of employee as well as department. So here we have employee related some attributes. So you can take any selective attributes, selected attributes. And then along with that, we have an information that employee works for a department, taking the department number. But we will not stop there. We will also have department related attributes. And then we have to show that there exists a transitive dependency, that this D number can be determined by SSN, but other things can be determined. Like this, we have to show the groups. And then by the third normalization, we are separating like this. See, we are taking department number in both the groups, because that logical relationship or the information should not be lost. We also want the information that employee works for a particular department. Then we also want that for which department that particular manager is there, or what is the name of the department. So this is how we show the bifurcation or the normalization or decomposition into third normal form. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is the example for third normal form. So there is one more notes what I had prepared for normalization. Here we have taken some different examples. So let us look at these examples also. If you feel these are easy, you can even use this. Now, for example, what is the rule for first normal form? We had seen that the first normal form, as per the definition, it does not allow multi-valued attributes, composite attribute, and it does not allow nested relation. So this is the complete definition. So you can show like this, the unnormalized table, that we have course and the content. Each course should have a single content, isn't it? Here it is a multi-valued attribute. Then we can arrange the table like this. We can, for each of the value of the content, we are going to take a separate tuple. Programming Java, programming C++. Then in web, we have content as HTML. Then in the, hello, yeah.
Hello, ma'am, we can't see that example.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Got to share the screen. Yes, I'm not used to Zoom still completely. Yeah, now can you see here? Yeah, we can see here. Now is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So we can see here that we have a table wherein we have course and the content. First course is programming. The course in the sense, understand that it is a subject. Under programming category, we have two subject or two content we are going to learn, Java and C++. Under web category, we are learning HTML, PHP, and ASP. So this is not allowed. So this table is not in first normal form. So after normalization, we can bring it into first normal form like this also. So instead of splitting in the first normalization, you can even show like this. Got it? But here the problem will be, if it is a primary key, then it will not allow like this. Then in that case, we'll have to decompose. Anyways, even you can show like this. You can just show the separation of this for each of programming. I mean, we take a separate tuple for programming Java and programming C++. Then for web, for each of the content, take separate tuples. So
Def-
this is,
mm,
you show the first normal form. Even this is, I'm going to send even this Word file to you. Then for the second normal form,
okay.
uh, we know that the definition says that every non-prime attribute should be fully functionally dependent on the primary key attribute.
Primary.
So there shouldn't be, yeah, there should be complete full functional dependency. And as
Mm,
I have told that it should be uh, for the
composite.
composite. So I feel that thing is clear better. To take textbook example is always
Yes.
better. Only when you find it difficult, take this example. Clear? So because normally those people who correct
Yes.
your papers, they'll be referring the textbook, isn't it? So take that department
Yes.
employee project example only. Then for the third normal form also take on the employee department as the example. But in case you feel, um, here they have shown that third normal form is like this. uh, to understand transitive dependency, that student id is there, name is there, city is there, and zip code is there. But as you all know, student has a zip code, but it is not student zip code because student stays in that city and that city has got a zip code,
Mm,
isn't it? There is a separate zip code for every city.
yes,
So
ma'am.
this is how zip code
Yes,
is
ma'am.
transitively dependent on student ID. It is not directly dependent. Actually, zip code is dependent on city, and because student stays in that city, there exists a zip code associated with student. Fine. So to separate that, we can separate like this. Actually, this separation is from one website which I didn't like. It is not correct. I feel it should be like this: student ID, student name, and city, and then city and zip code,
Mm,
isn't it? So I feel that should be
yes,
the,
ma'am.
yeah. So I will change the notes accordingly. Then let us see the next normal form. Up to here, is it clear, all the three normal forms?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let us go to BCNF. BCNF is little confusing. So I'll share one more page with you. Just wait for 2 minutes.
Mm,
Yeah, here. Not finding that example in my notes. Just a minute. Mhm. So many versions of the notes to make it easy for the
mm,
students. So I'm not finding it exactly. Let final. Okay. Let me explain the same example here. Okay. Let me take from the PPT only. Let's try to understand. If you find that difficult, then we can come back to this word file example. So I'll take you to the PPT. Somebody yesterday sent me the assignment in WPS format. Uh, some A division student, and that's why my PPT is opening in that. Just a minute. Huh? So I'm not able to make out which is the PPT and which is the MS. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Fine. This only. So can you see the PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what is BCNF? So BCNF, before that we have to understand some more definition. Not understand, we have to just revise. We have already studied those. What do you mean by a super key? As you all know, even in the last to last class, I have explained you. Super key of a relation is a set of attributes uh, in that relation that contains a key of R. For example, again to give you example, suppose I have a student table. In student table, I have a roll number, and then I have name, and then I have city. So even these three together can be a super key. Or what could be another
Yes, ma'am.
super key? Another super key could be roll number and city. Another
Roll number.
super key
Uh,
should be roll
Roll
number.
number, name.
Yeah, name. So
Name.
as far as roll number is there, any group can become a super key. So roll number and city.
Super key.
Hmm. No, now it is name. Yeah. So these are the three super keys in this particular table. So this is what super key is, nothing but a group which contains a key of that particular table. So a roll number is a key of the table student. So as far as that is there, that
Yes, ma'am.
member is there. So every group becomes a super key. Now,
Super key.
why to revise this? Because the definition of BCNF includes this. So here it says, actually the third normal form. So we are putting third normal form definition. In other words, if you understand it's okay, otherwise forget. A relation schema R is in third normal form. Uh, if whenever a functional dependency X determines A holds in R, then either X is a super key of R or A is a prime attribute of R. So either X is a super key or A is a prime attribute of R in case of 3NF. Now, Boy's chord normal form does not allow this. What does it mean? A relation schema R is in Boy's chord normal form if whenever the functional dependency X determines A holds in R, then X is a super key of R. That means that OR thing what was existed in third normal form. Let us take to the previous slide again. So what were the two possibilities for a relation to be in third normal form? One is if this dependency holds, then X is a super key. That means either X is a super key or A is a prime attribute. So these were the two
Prime attribute.
possibilities to be or you can say for the relation to be in third normal form. What is that? That let us see later with the help of example. Now you should understand that there exist two conditions. Both either of them can be if it is there, then we can say that our relation is in third normal form. But BCNF is a little stricter, more stricter form of a third normal form. That it does not allow either of these two. It allows only one thing. What is that one thing it allows? It allows only one thing, that for such functional dependency to exist, then the X must be a super key. It is not that either X is a super key or A is a prime attribute. These were the things in third normal form. But here it says that this thing can hold only when X is a super key. Otherwise, this functional dependency should not be there. That means what does it say? That the third normal form allows that uh, there can be a candidate key A, candidate key or the prime attribute. You know the definition of prime attribute. Prime attribute is one such which uniquely determines. So it is not necessary that it is a primary key or it is a part of primary key. In case of composite primary keys, when there are multiple attributes, each one of them is called as a prime attribute. So you understand what is prime attribute? Prime attribute is
Yes,
not
ma'am.
a primary key, but it is a part of primary key.
Uniquely determined.
Or sometimes it can be a candidate key also. Fine. So the third normal form, what it says, if such functional dependency exists, then either this is a super key or this is a prime attribute. So it allows like
Prime
this,
attribute.
that if there is some prime attribute, it can be functionally determined by something like that. But here BCNF says that such thing exists only when X is a super key. So that means it says that each and every attribute must be dependent on the super key only. Clear? It must be dependent on super key. That means indirectly it must be dependent on a set of attribute which contains a key. It should be dependent only and only on the key, not on any other attribute. Is that clear? In short, we have to
Yes,
remember BCNF forces you that each of the attribute must be dependent on the key. It is something like, uh, for example, yeah, how to tell you? In 4B class, if there is, suppose Sanjana is LR and Sanjana controls one particular student, suppose she should be controlling all the students, suppose, or she coordinates one particular student. Then what happens is, suppose that student, either Sanjana controls that student, that means Sanjana is a super key, or then it is said that the other student can be a member of the student council, something like that, as per the third normal form. But it says, the BCNF, what it says, that everybody must listen to the student council or the CR and LR only. It should not be dependent on any other. So indirectly, BCNF removes strictly the transitive dependency. So to explain this, in the textbook, they have given one example. Even this example, I didn't find that easy to understand, but still, since there is no alternative, we have to stick to that. In your textbook, they have explained that there exist, suppose in United States or in UK, there exists some properties, and each property has got some area, and it is allotted some names. Like for example, yeah, and then each property belongs to a country, and that each of the property belongs to a particular lot, and then the size of that particular property size, suppose you can take the example of the plots. The plots in that particular area are of particular size. Then what they have explained here is, the plot size, for example, if the plot size is below 5, so 1 to 5 is the plot size, suppose, then that is related to one particular lot. So they have divided one property. Suppose there are 10 properties, they are divided into 2 lots. If the area is between 1 to 5, it is related to lot A. And if the area is above 5, then it is related to lot B. Now suppose there is one table called as lots 1A. This is a combined table. Now we are taking this as a bad relation example. So this table, anyway, there is time up now. So we will see, instead of rejoining the meeting, we'll see this example in the next class.